Hi, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the care and keeping of your violin and how to keep your violin healthy and happy. And the first thing we're going to talk about is climate. We're going to talk about hot and cold as well as dry and humid environments. As you go about your daily life, never ever ever leave your violin in a cold or a hot car. Always bring it inside with you as you leave your car. The hot or the cold could damage the wood. It could damage the glue that holds your violin together, or it can get your tuning all out of sorts. And so it's always better just to bring your violin inside with you as soon as you get home. As you travel with your violin, I would always keep your violin in the cabin, the main cabin of your car. Just that way the temperature is a little bit more regulated. The air conditioning or the heat can't as easily get to the trunk part of your car, and so if you keep your violin inside the car with you, it can just really help regulate that temperature. I always put my violin in the back seat, and so that might be a good place, but wherever in that main cabin is really a good place for your violin as you travel. When you store it at home, try to store it away from a heating or a cooling vent. Same thing, you want to keep that temperature regulated, and you never want it getting too hot or too cold too quickly. Of course, we have changes of season here in Ohio, and throughout the year, the temperatures of our house fluctuate, and that's okay. But we just want to avoid that dramatic heat or cold change, that temperature change. And so if you can try to regulate that as much as possible, that'll be the best thing for your instrument. Going on to humid or dry environments, we have a tool that can help us, and this is called a dampit. And if you can look inside here, there's like this green thing and then a hole with the yellow inside. And so that inside is actually a sponge, and it has holes and then this like plastic covering. And so what you do with this is you run it under water to get that sponge wet, and then you will dry out off the outside of it with the towel, and then you will put it inside your violin, just like this. And they make different sizes depending on the size of your violin. I think that this is like a 3/4 size dampit, and so it kind of doesn't fit in my violin too well. But they make the sizes that correlate to your instrument. But it just sits like that, and it helps keep the wood a little bit less dry. Just like, how like your hands can crack during the winter if they get too dry. Same thing with the wood. If it gets extremely dry, it can crack. And so this dampit just helps prevent that to happen. I've never had one of my violins crack, and so I don't really know how common it is, but I always put my dampit in, especially in the winter time. Like now or in the summertime, I don't necessarily put it in, but definitely in the winter time, I leave my dampit in as my case, as my violin is in my case. When I take my violin out to play, I usually take my dampit out. But in the winter, I store my violin with the dampit inside. I know that they also make like little like tubes that you can fill with water that you can just keep inside your case. And I used to have one of those, but I know a lot of people use them. But nowadays, I just use a dampit. And so, yeah, these are very cool. So let's go on to cleaning your violin. Every time I put my violin away, I just clean all the rosin off really fast, and this just helps prevent that rosin buildup. And so you can get these cloths from, again, your local music store. And so I always clean right here where my bow goes the most, under here. I clean off the strings, then I clean underneath the fingerboard as well as between the strings and the fingerboard, and that basically gets all of it. Sometimes you will have to clean like right here on your fingerboard as well, but yeah, I just do that really fast every day just to get all that rosin off. And then let's go ahead and take a couple minutes to talk about your bow. So as you put your bow away after you practice, you'll want to loosen your bow up. And so there's a screw down here that loosens or tightens. And so if you do this way towards you or to the left, it will loosen, or if you go away from you or to the right, it will tighten. And so make sure you loosen it before you put it away every day. And so just make sure that the hair is a little bit flimsy. So if you can see, when I put any pressure on it, the hair touches the stick. And that's all that you need to do. Just loosen it a little bit. And then when you go to tighten it, do this very slow. Just do, 1 or 2 twists, and then see if it's a comfortable tightness to play with. And you might need to go some more, so do a couple more, and then see. So right now it would be good because it's tight enough that I can play with it. But it's not so tight that like my bow is bowing or anything. And so make sure, there's just a nice little space between that hair and the bow. Your hair right here is actually made out of horse hair. And so as you practice and stuff, try to refrain from touching the hair just because the oils on your skin could hurt the hair. And so try just not to touch it as you play. And so that's all I've got. If you have any questions about what you should do to care for your violin that I didn't cover, definitely email me or message me, and maybe I'll make another video of questions that I didn't answer today. But I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time.